put it while conversation continue with a view to having an amicable resolution of the impasse.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ernest Abner Da, the Executive Chairman of Kwampan Local Government Area of Plateau State. The notice was short, and I really appreciate the fact that you responded to have this interview with us. We're grateful, and I would also keep in touch. Subsequent development on this issue would still bring it to the attention of the people that listen. Thank you very much once again.
I appreciate OPEYEMI, and good evening, Lagosians.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much for still staying with us. You're live on Mila 98.3 FM, the Station Room. The Station Room is a political program that comes up on the airwaves every Mondays to Fridays, where we look at policies, politics and governance, leadership, and everything that affect our daily existence as a people. Well, and I just spoke with the Executive Chairman of Kwampan Local Government, Honorable Ernest Abner Da. Remember last week Thursday, the Public Secretary of the PDP on the Plateau joined us on the show, and he brought up the allegations of financial misappropriation as the reason why the governor decided to dissolve the 17 democratically elected local government chairmen and replace them with transition committee chairmen. So I decided to offer the right of reply to the affected local government chairman, and the chairman from Kwampan decided to speak on their behalf, and that's what he just said. He condemned it in totality, and he also agrees with the fact that to forestall breakdown of law and order, the need for the Inspector General of Police to order for the total seal off of all of the 17 local government secretariat in the street. So it's still a developing conversation, and we'll definitely keep you abreast of all of that. Well, Dr. AKINYODE joins me on the show. Apologies, I've kept you on the line for so long. Good evening and welcome today.
Yes, it's my pleasure being with you this evening, OPEYEMI. Well done, and you are really doing nicely. Sorry for you not connecting me early enough. I'm just leaving the Lagos State Governorship Petition Tribunal, where we have Olajide, Jando, and Sanwo-Olu facing themselves today.
Okay, before we come to the issue of the Election Petition Tribunal, the composition of the 10th Assembly is complete. We have the Senate President, we have the Deputy Senate President, we have the Speaker, we have the Deputy Speaker, fiercely contested on the issue of the presidency of the Senate between the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, that's now distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the former governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari. Well, closely, as against what we had in the House of Reps, that was absolutely one way, 3 for Jaji, 3 for Honorable Wasi, and the other going to Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Now, the leadership of the House had come out to say that the lawmakers will work to back the president, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to deliver dividends of democracy to the people. Talk to us about that. There's been a lot of decisions, a lot of bills signed into laws by the president in the last 2 weeks or thereabout that he's been sworn in. Talk to us about the state of the nation right now, in respect to also the work. How possible do you think the student loan conversation can work?
Yes, let me start from the National Assembly, whereby they just elected their leaders, and there is no doubt about it that the elections were keenly contested. And the day that APC and the newly sworn president, they wanted to become the leaders of the National Assembly, they are there. And we have also heard them say that, look, we are going to work for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But then the questions are there. To what extent are we going to witness whereby the legislature will become a kind of a watchdog to the executive? And to what extent are we going to witness whereby the National Assembly will be able to effectively perform its oversight functions on the executive? If we are now hearing that, look, we are going to work for we are going to do what, the bidding of our Baba, just like the 10th, just like the 9th assembly. Well, having said that, time will tell to answer those questions. Now, talking about the student loan, bills that are just been signed, I have looked at it critically, and I even ask artificial intelligence a kind of a question that to what extent will this thing benefit the students? And between you and me, I found out that it will just benefit nothing more than 2% of the students. 2% of the students. And what do I mean? Number one, it said before you can be eligible, your parents must show their tax clearance. That is not an issue for me. In that sense again, before you can be eligible, your parents, two parents, the father and the mother, must not be earning more than 500,000 naira per annum. If you are talking of 500,000 per annum, that comes down to like 41,000 naira, less than 41,000 naira
per month.
Per month.
Let's just say the minimum wage. Let's just say the minimum wage.
Wait, now I'm coming. No. That's why I'm coming to OPEYEMI. That is each of them. When you put the salary of the two of them together, it must not be more than 41,000 naira per month. The two of them together. That is 20,500. But what is the minimum wage? Minimum wage is 30,000. So how many people? That means the whole workers, there is nobody that is not earning more than 30,000 naira. Put it in a year, more than 500,000. Now, who qualifies? That is not even another big issue. Another issue is, even if you get that, you cannot be eligible without having a director in the ministry.
Dr. Akade, sorry, before you move on, you just stated the fact that if your parent earn anything above 500,000, you're not qualified for that. Does that not sound discriminatory enough?
Well, it is the president who has that. I'm only analyzing what has been on the policy paper. So I wouldn't know whether it's discriminatory or not. Listeners and Nigerian students will be able to determine whether it is discriminatory or not. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Again, you must now have a director in the civil service that will sign for you, or a lawyer that has been practicing for over 10 years. And when they are signing for you, they will also indicate that if you fail to pay back, they will pay. Now tell me, how many directors do we have in all the ministry? Put them together and then ask maybe 555 for each of the students. How many students will you be able to get? That is another issue. Now, the bottom line is this. Immediately after your graduation, you must start paying back after 2 years. Do you know how many graduates we have outside there? 2 years, they have not even been able to serve. So how do they pay back? Are these no issues? They are big issues. So to what extent? This is what I call jumping up and down, being happy, hailing this, hey. But without reading listeners and the Nigerians to know whether this is discriminatory or not, whether this will happen or not, whether this is another form of visit or not. Time will tell.
Okay, Dr. Akade, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Now, we're not, going to discuss the meat of the election
inside the courtroom, not premises, inside the courtroom.
Maybe you can just give us a little brief, not necessarily touching the meat of the conversation of what
started. And Dr. Adediran Abdulaziz, also known as Jando, was called to the witness box, and we had lawyers of the APC, especially I can witness my friend and my brother, Maurice Bajere was there, then that of the INEC was there and all that. Interestingly, everybody, that the second witness was also called in at about 3 o'clock, and they said I have to quickly take my excuse that my family at Mainland FM will be waiting for me by 4. So I just have to leave the course to be able to have this program today. But hopefully, everybody is hopeful. Everybody there, we are all hopeful. Both PDP, APC, even Labour Party, even the NPP, everybody, we are all hopeful that the judge, the justice is there. It's very good. Honestly speaking, I can adjudge it to be highly professional. Definitely, it's going to be very interesting. Because it's going to be very interesting in a couple of weeks.
Okay, sure. So, and that is where, democratically elected.
And even Lagos, Alaba, Lagos.
Yes, democratically elected governor, as local government chairmen were, dissolved by the governor and transition committee chairmen were put in their place. You look at what is going on in Kano also, projects, monumental projects that were used or that were built by taxpayers' monies are being pulled down on the order of the governor. And then the conversation around Lagos State, the Alaba market also, Dr. AKINYODE, there's the conversation around vendetta. There's the conversation around I don't want any of the thing that my predecessor has done. How do I put it now? How dangerous is this card to the democracy that we're trying to nurture in this country?
You see, OPEYEMI, I've always been talking about political rascality in this country. Nothing other than political rascality. How can somebody be telling me that, look, because there's a kind of a sign of cross on an edifice that beautifies an environment and you are pulling it down? What has that sign of cross? Very small. What has it got to do with that? 2, look at the state of assembly. How can the state of assembly stand up and say, okay, they were sent to the governor's request to sack electorally elected, democratically elected local government chairman? And that's why I was talking about the National Assembly the other time. To what extent? I want to see the extent to which they're going to be a kind of watchdog on the executive. I want to see a kind of how they be able to effectively perform their oversight functions on the executive. You can see what is happening in Plateau. If not because it is an executive recklessness, how will you on your own? Is it because it has happened to you before? Because I remember when he was also the chairman. Listen, was he elected or selected? Now this time around, it's a bunch of elected, and then see what is happening there now. The elected local government chairman, they were saying they ain't going to leave. While the selected was, they were saying they must force themselves inside. And then the whole thing now turned into serious wildfire there. To the extent of now filling the place up. Listen, OPEYEMI, this is the local government. This is the kind of government that is supposed to be very, very close to the people. So until that issue is resolved now, everybody in each of those local governments, they will not have the presence of governance. Dividend of democracy will eliminate. Then of what importance is it for them to willingly submitted their sovereignty to a particular authority? Where do they go from here? What comes of them? Which future awaits them? Now listen, will they now be ready to take part in further democratic activities in future? These are questions that we need to be asking ourselves. And these are questions that need to be close to the table of all these executive rascals that are ruling us. Look at Alaba market. Look at what is happening in Alaba market. Yes, you have been giving them, you say you have been giving them quick notice to 2016. Why? You know how much money that comes into Lagos Port from that place? You know how much money? You know how many people are making their living there? What is it that is lacking there that is now making you to wanting to destroy that place? Why can't you put it? Okay, if it has encroached on other land uses because of what is there, why don't you remove such a land use to somewhere else? Now tell me, billions billions of naira are being lost there, and this is shortly after election when it is being known that the people trading there are from the particular tribe that the challenge did not vote for you. Do we now call it political vendetta?
Dr. Dakayode, you know, Dr. Dakayode, you are politicizing the issue that is going on in Alaba.
I did not mention names now. I did not mention any tribe. I said a particular tribe that the government claimed did not vote for him. I didn't mention any name. All right, I'm being careful with my use of words. And then what I'm now saying, it's a big question. Not that exactly what has happened. Do we now target political vendetta? I mean, it's not for listeners to make up their mind and judge whatever I've been saying.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dakayode. I would like to pick calls, and as you always do it, just spare me a couple of minutes. I'll keep you on standby so that we can just, wrap up the conversation together. 091-3600-0410. I've had two guests on the show already. Well, I had one, and then the other one, Dr. Dakayode, is still with me. He's going to be with me to the end of the program. I've looked at a couple of things, especially the constant challenge on local government autonomy in this country. The need, or let me put it this way, why is it that chief executive of every state, as the governors, are always so particular about the soul of local government? Is it about control? Is it about imposing? Is it about the financial balance within the government and the state? The fact that elected local government chairmen often get their allocation direct from the federation account, but when the governor decides to choose transition committee chairman, he gives the chairman whatever he feels they deserve or he feels can function for them, thereby checking the autonomy of such government. There's been a lot of problem in respect to that. I was seeing in Dr. Dakayode's language political rascality going on in this case. Well, at the end of the day, they say when two elephants fight, the grass would suffer. Now, local government activities have been crippled. All of the 17 local government secretariats have been sealed off. The elected chairmen are not functioning. The transition committee chairmen are not functioning. And the state is just at the mercy of the governor. Well, we keep the conversation going. You can join us.
The monthly allocation, where does it go to now?
It goes to the government. Straight to the government.
You can see what I'm saying.
Well, let me read some messages on our social media platforms. This program is being streamed live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Mainland 98.3 FM. Let me read some messages that will come to pick the calls. This one from Zuni Zadok is responding to the conversation between myself and the former and the chairman, suspended chairman, let me put it that way. And he says the council chairman spoke brilliantly. That's it from Sydney Trump. Bulus Timothy says the honorable just mentioned it right. Okay. Henry Lombard says the Alaji, you're well articulate. Bulus Timothy also says well said. May Passmore Daladi says let the local council chairman should tell you in the court of public opinion that there was no embezzlement of public funds under the administration. And why are they crying fault when they were just suspended so that an investigation can be carried out? It is disheartening after that they knew that they are guilty, that they are running up and down seeking public sympathy. May God help us. Okay. Thank you very much. 091-3600-0410. Dr. Dakayode, I'll pick the calls now and then we just keep the conversation going. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Okay, good to have you join us on the show today.
Yes, I just came in and somehow heard what was going on there. Now, if I follow me, my name is Israel to start with.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ojodu. Autonomy would have been the best if it's a transparent thing. The local government chairman are closer to the people, but unlawful interference is much. Factors militating against the local government autonomy are much. They cannot shy away from. The local government would have been the best if they were given their own autonomy. But the pity, the system that we are running in Nigeria is a questionable one right from the onset. And if from the outset we miss the whole thing. That's why the problem is still lingering up to date. I get you.
Thank you very much. Well, the autonomy of local governments would constantly and consistently be a conversation at the front burner. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Prince Wise, you're welcome.
Thank you. You see, couple of the local government by new governor is illegal now. If you form one of the governor wants it, I think in the local government, you have councillor, you have a speaker, you have councillor that can checkmate the chairman of the local government. So you see better if the president now discuss with state governor, the government this thing, what are we talking about? If this will go to court now, at the end of the day, it will take a lot of time. But the Supreme Court will return them back to the office, or you pay them off. So this will happen sometimes from years back. At the end of the day, the local government one day won at the Supreme Court. This governor must be wrong. Okay, it seems right for him to want to squash democracy. To come from what the chairman has done with you, I really appreciate you. What is going on because they do? Where do this last corruption? This is, if anyone find somebody just enter very 2 weeks, and the top of the local government this is not right. Every disabled Nigeria must rise up against that governor.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
OPEYEMI, let me stop you.
Thank you very much, Prince Wise. Well,
Prince Wise,
actually, the dissolution of the local government chairman did not even take 2 weeks. It happened the following day. That's on 30th of May. That's 24 hours after the governor was sworn in. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, OPEYEMI.
Okay, your name, where are you calling from?
My name is Agomo Junior. I'm calling you from Jos City.
Okay, all the way from Plateau State. You're welcome.
Thank you very much for having my former chairman suspended. OPEYEMI, I just want to clarify the air. You know that place you are. Majority of listeners are from Lagos. In 2021, when that so-called election was conducted, OPEYEMI, you were in Jos. Please let me tell them the truth. Was there an election? We were on our way to go and vote. Even the APC members said there was no election. We were on our way to go and vote. They were announcing winners and collecting certificates that same night. What are we saying? Were they elected? They should not tell us they were elected. As far as I'm concerned, none of them is an elected chairman because they were not elected by due process. Even then in Plateau, I remember some of their houses were burned because they collected it and we are not happy with them. So they are coming up to tell us that they are elected. Who gave them that right to call themselves elected chairman, for goodness sake? We are okay with the governor's decision. There is nothing they can say.
Hello, are you still there? Okay. Well, truth be told, I was actually on the Plateau when the election was conducted, and for one reason or the other,
there was an election.
Yes, there was an election.
Yes.
And the People's Democratic Party did not participate in that election because there was an internal crisis within the PDP that means that a faction that presented the result of the primaries of the local government election on the party was not accepted by the court. That's why I said we keep this conversation going. It doesn't look like a conversation that will go anytime soon. Hello, good evening, Pastor Ambrose.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well. You're welcome.
Pastor Ambrose, how you doing?
Bro, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon,
Thank God for everything. You can see I've been on a low profile for some time. Okay, long back, bro, now God will for this country. I don't know. Somebody just relocated to Canada. They said around 9:30 in the night. It's still like daytime.
Ben.
So they have very long days.
Ben.
And very short night. Money.
Oh yes.
In Nigeria and be by 6 o'clock. It go everywhere tissue. 7 o'clock. They
are in summer now.
Look, I'm going somewhere.
Are you not going for summer?
I'm going somewhere. Night is longer than day. Is it the reason why we are going through all of this?
Pastor Ambrose.
I don't want to go further. The rumors I'm hearing again now, I'm not happy. I don't want to go further than that. When are we going to have peace or no peace in this country? When? I just decided to stay on a low profile. The rumors I'm hearing now, I'm not happy about it. When? Is this how we just continue living in self-denial? We don't want to make a choice by progress. We want to make a choice by emotion, by sentiment, by tribalism, by ethnicity. Is this how we will continue? And all of us, we are jackpying to Canada, to UK, to US, to Europe, to South Africa, to Ghana, to Guinea, to Cotonou. And these people are doing it right. They are not following tribalism. They are not following nepotism. They are not following ethnicity. They are not following religiosity. And then we have this problem on our hands. We have longer life. What is happening in this our Nigeria? With all these things that I'm hearing.
Thank you, Pastor Ambrose. Thank you.
It is well.
I'm also looking for answers the way you're looking at.
I hope you don't have to shop in Alaba, Pastor.
It's gone. Okay, Dr. Dakara, they were really pressed for time now. And well, so far so good. The issue of subsidy on petrol seems like Nigerians are gradually moving on with that. Now and the issue of
my grounds is that the increase that we have, is it the true picture of the increase we are supposed to have? And nobody is asking questions. Anyway, I want to see how Labour will go, because Labour just put in the papers today that they will see go on strike, that it's just being suspended. And I think they are still discussing with the government. But I want them to ask, what we have seen, this increase, is it supposed to be the true increase? Is it not the increase that are being imposed so that they can be eating up our subsidy? We need to define that.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Dakara, for joining us on the show today. I'm really grateful and I appreciate your time with us.
It's my pleasure joining you today. I mean, God says our time. Next week, I will still be with you by God's grace.
Certainly. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
And you too. Well, that was Dr. Dakara. He joins us every Monday. He's a political analyst. He's a public affairs analyst as well. And one-time gubernatorial aspirant for the governorship of Ekiti State. Well, a lot of people don't even know that. Well, it's been a very interesting conversation today. And both left and right, we're getting different opinion, different perspective in respect to what is going on the plateau. The most important thing is that local government must be independent. Local government must be allowed to function. Local government must be allowed to thrive, because that is the closest level of governance to the people. And now that the elected chairmen have been suspended, the transition committee chairmen are not allowed to function, local government is closed down, then the people are at the mercy of the governor. Hello, good evening.
In that, not because.
Hello.
Not because, hello.
You're with us. 30 seconds. You're welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's me when they calling from Osaga.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's like what I said the other time. I keep saying, our problem is lawlessness and corruption. That is the problem of this country. Now, the person that is dissolving the local government because of whatsoever he feels, because I heard somebody trying to justify it, maybe the election was mad with irregularity, and did anybody sack the president because of that now? There are a lot of questions concerning the presidential election too. So, but that is not enough to just sack people who are democratically elected. Is there anywhere in our law that such is permitted? So, when you look at the way our leaders, once they come in there, they believe that they are above the law, they can do anything, and that is why lawlessness will continue.
Thank you.
The problem. Now look at this. Okay, I wanted to say something about the. Hello.
We'll continue the conversation tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we've come to the end of the program today. It's a Monday. God's sparing our lives. We still have every other day of this week to come together and look at issues that have to do with policies, the politics, governance, leadership, our daily existence as a people. Well, I'm sure that there will be more development on the issue, happening on the plateau, that's in Plateau State presently. So you need to keep your dial locked on mainland 98.3 FM. We are the sound of Lagos. Big shout out to Dr. Akayode for joining us on the show today, and also to Honorable Next Abner, the executive chairman of Kwampan local government, one of the suspended local government chairmen in Plateau State.
Crashing down is look up. Assemble the team. Showtime of the brains. Wake it up.
What'd you have for breakfast?
We are the sound of Lagos, and this is mainland 98.3 FM.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Headline news on 98.3 mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. Tinubu meets Dangote, Bill Gates behind closed doors in Aso Rock. Court upholds restraining order against NLC and TUC. Prevents strike. Tribunal to hear APM's petition on June 21. Sultan of Sokoto declares June 28 Eid al-Adha. NAFDAC raises alarm over dangerous unapproved herbal products. Middlebelt Forum urges DSS to invite El Rufai over divisive comments.